Fellow Toastmasters, guests, today I'm going to discuss kind of a touchy subject depending on your viewpoints in life and firearms and the Second Amendment. The concept is a smart gun. Using a smart gun, is it practical, unpractical, is it worth time, should we even bother? The definition according to Wikipedia, a smart gun only allows authorized users to fire said weapon, much like you see on Star Trek. If you don't have the fingerprint. Definition of a smart gun, it has either an RFID chip, which also has ingrained a fingerprint scanner. When you go to use said weapon, it reads your fingerprint against the RFID chip, and it determines yes or no based on the setting and the fingerprint embedded in the system on the chip. Now I got some pictures, I'm going to pass them after I'm done. So, going into this concept, it's dealing with everyday tools, depending on your perspective. A farmer would use one of these, a pitchfork, or a wife that's angry at her husband and wants her to go work in the backyard. Could be used in several ways. A hammer, everyday tool. Most people use it somewhere along the way. It's equal opportunity. Men and women both use it all the time, frequently. For the contractors, we have a nail gun. I wish I had one of these, but they're a little expensive. And another tool that's used by contractors, and it can be lethal, just like all these issues identified so far, these tools. And the screwdriver. I had something on my mind when I was doing this. The real screwdriver. So when you got to adjust things or tweak them or whatever the situation may be. Now the subject of my speech is RFID one of these. Some people hate them, some people use them every day. For 10 years I carried, not this version, this is a Glock 26, but when I was a law enforcement specialist in the United States Air Force, I carried a Beretta 9mm, and I also carried an AR-15, which usually 120 rounds, typically both, depending on what I had to do that day. Some facts: 730 homicides occurred in 2016 in Chicago. Every 74 minutes, a stolen firearm is taken off the streets by the police department in Chicago. This is where the RFID concept, I think, is a key play. Stolen firearm is good to anybody, but if it only reads a fingerprint, it's good to nobody, but they own it. On average, a toddler in America shoots someone about once a week because the parents left a loaded firearm in the house and it wasn't in a proper storage container. I don't have any children, but my firearms are properly secured per the law. And once a week, that's not good. 2015, 71 Americans were killed in terrorist attacks on U.S. soil. 301,000 were killed in gun violence during the same period. So you can see the association between the terrorists and firearms, the situations there. So which one is more? You would say definitely from firearms. And if we had a smart concept on them, that could reduce this situation. The FBI processed a record-setting 185,345 DOJ background checks on Black Friday of 2016. What that means is you run to the store, you decide you like that shiny whatever firearm. Before you can purchase it for ARs, any kind of assault and a handgun, you have to put in the proper paperwork and it gets submitted to DOJ, and you wait a 15-day period currently in the state of California. The idea on that is to make sure you're a okay person. I got some pictures here of, which I'll pass around. It's the AR-15, and that little spot there is the fingerprint scanner, which will pick up your fingerprint and say, oh, okay, this guy owns this weapon. Proceed if you so need to use your firearm. And this here is a similar concept. It's hard to see on this picture, but it uses a red light, green light thing. So if a child picks up the item, it'll get a red light and it will not allow them to fire that, which would eliminate the accidental discharge. And the green light, of course, would authorize it and it would fire. Now there's been a lot of debate on this with law enforcement. I put it from my perspective. When I was in law enforcement, would this be practical? When I was in Clark Air Base, Republic of the Philippines, I was involved in 3 shooting situations. And I often wondered when the RFID changed the outcome of it. I think it's possible it could slow it or affect it, but if they can improve it just like any other technology, it can become acceptable in the general law enforcement field and for the DOJ and all law enforcement related duties, and it could cut down on unnecessary deaths, especially for our children. Madam Toastmaster.
As I start my evaluation, oh wait, that's a bad time. So when you're going to move this podium, Scott, move it out of the way, then start your speech. And this part of that movement is on purpose. It's just move it out of the way. Now, let me start my evaluation. It's sort of distracting, like you sort of, oh, you just got to get started. Let me, like, there's no pressure to rush to get started. Start when you start. I thought for the second edition, I thought it was a good speech. I did like it better this time. The tools felt more connected this time in the second round. I wanted more though, as I always do. I'm never happy. I always want more. So I felt a little bit like the tools and all the pictures. Like I thought they were good pictures, but again, for me, it felt like there was too many. Like I think you could have got the concept down with less, and then gone more into why the smart guns are a good or bad concept. Because to me, this speech really felt like a warm-up to that conversation. It's like, here's a little background on why we're having this conversation, and then it felt like, okay, now pro side, con side, go. Like, that's what that felt like to me. Like you're now all in this conversation, let's have it. It didn't really discuss to me. I know no more information now than I did before, really, on why smart guns are good or bad. Like I know a little bit, like because of the kids, and a little bit, but it's like I didn't hear enough. Okay, why are people against it? Why are people for it? Why are people against it? And I felt that's what I was gonna get. Maybe that's just because of the speech style. That's what sort of led me to that. But yeah, I loved all the information. One of the questions was your materials, like if you varied them or not. And again, it was all pictures. I think a really fun one you could have done. You kept the screwdriver gag in there, and I thought that was a good move. But I thought that would be really easy to have brought a screwdriver and an empty cup, and that would have just mixed it up a little bit instead of picture. I thought that would just be a fun little thing you could have done. Body language, there wasn't a lot of it. I didn't feel. You did point at the gun in the corner, like, ooh, new toy. Which we all get that feeling of. And I think you could have gone farther with that, especially because as you were saying, you have to wait 15 days, and the whole idea is that crazy people don't get a gun. So I think you could have gone a little bit farther on that. It's like, ooh, I get a new gun. Like maybe act a little crazy, like, yeah, those people are trying not to get a gun. You know, so I think that could have just been fun in that sense. It really depends how serious you want to make it, how serious you want to make your speech. Is it more fun, just letting you know some good information? Is it more, again, are we getting really into it? Are we getting down to a political debate? Let's have it. Like, where are you going? but I thought it was well done. There's plenty of knowledge, plenty of background. So thank you.